Welcome to Mediocritic.
See?
We're the Mediocritics.
I'm Kevin.
I'm Dan. What's up, yo?
I'm Andrew. What are you doing over there, Dan?
Looking at my worst rated movies.
Oh, nice.
What are your worst rated movies?
Let's
I gotta scroll back down. Hold on.
It's scrolling a lot.
That's a lot.
Either there's a lot of
I'm
bad...
fingering it.
That's fine. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's start off with that. What's your worst rated movie on IMDb? Wow. You have a lot in there. I want
to hear it.
I haven't even been rating movies.
I don't know if I can do this that fast.
I just started not too long ago.
Yeah, how do you... What's your worst rated? Give it to us.
Because I was going through the movies, and I was like, oh, I seen that one, and I rated it real quick to try to catch up a little bit.
But see, for this year, all I'm doing is rating from 2018.
But no,
so
this is like all time.
So what's your lowest on there?
We seen this gem together.
Oh, is it Hurricane Heist?
It is not.
Oh man, Jeepers Creepers.
Jeepers Creepers 3.
I knew it was one of them.
Jeepers Creepers 3.
Oh wow,
1 star.
What do you give Hurricane Heist?
2 stars.
I give Hurricane Heist 1 star too.
Oh, I gave Hurricane Heist 2 stars.
I feel like I gave both of them 1 star.
Yeah.
Jeepers Creepers and Hurricane Heist were equally terrible. Granted, let's be clear. Jeepers Creepers 3. It was not Jeepers Creepers 1 or 2 because...
No, because those are just masterpieces.
They're not as bad as Jeepers Creepers 3. Yeah. Let's put it that way. Jeepers Creepers 3 is on the level of sci-fi TV special, like Sharknado.
God. I'm sorry.
And...
I don't think either you saw this, and honestly, I can't even add more to this, but I'm gonna throw it out there. The lowest that I have as 1 star is called "I Am the Pretty Thing That Lives in the House" from 2016. Nope. It was on Netflix.
Never heard of it. Never saw it.
I literally can't even add anything interesting to this. I just remember, I think watching it on multiple days, trying to finish it, not watching it, rewatching it, in parts because it was so miserable. I literally couldn't even tell you what it was about. It was just so bad. So that's not even a fun story. But don't ever.
My top 10 worst rated movies is Transformers: Dark Knight, The Last Night.
Makes sense.
Hurricane Heist.
Okay.
Geostorm.
Oh yeah.
Valerian, the City of Shit.
Oh, you watched that?
I did. It was so bad.
That's amazing.
What's wrong with you?
Battlefield Earth with Travolta.
Yuck.
Oh my god.
I'm a fan of bad,
Jeepers
good movies.
Creepers 3.
And that's none of those.
What else we got? Romeo and Juliet.
You watched that?
I did.
Why? How?
I don't know.
How did you come about doing that?
It was like 1 in the morning.
Was it on Netflix? Or did you watch it through Terraria?
It was on Netflix, and the remote was too far, and it was an autoplay. Like, it was the next in line, and I was like,
oh, God.
Okay. And just go with it.
What was Just Go With It?
That was Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston.
Okay.
It was pretty terrible.
Why was she in that? She's not as low as... She's not down there with Adam Sandler.
I don't even know. Is this an Adam Sandler...
Was that?
See,
they're
it might not be.
IMDb's, and I don't even have anything.
The director says it's Jeff Wadlow, but my next movie up that I gave 2 stars was True Memoirs of an International Assassin.
Oh, that was so bad. I forgot.
Yeah, so that was with Kevin James, and I think that was also on Netflix.
It was.
And
I did see that.
It was not a good time.
I forgot to rate it.
I've talked about this before. I literally actually have nothing against Kevin James. I think his stand-up is actually incredibly funny.
And in King of Queens, he's hilarious.
He's
great.
But
He's totally...
Except for Paul Blart. But
he's totally taken the Adam Sandler route of things where Adam Sandler used to be hilarious, and now it's just like...
Hey,
he's catering to adult comedy.
You do what you can do to get work, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, it was awful to me.
Yeah. Can we... We're going to talk about Geostorm, because that was a big upset for me.
Do we have to?
Yeah. Because... Me as an avid lover...
We watch that, me and you.
Yes. Me as an avid lover of GoodBad movies...
You have one job.
That was a big upset. Because, literally, I'm looking at this and I say, okay, trailers and stuff had me hyped for it. Because I was just like, what could go wrong? It's a day after tomorrow. that knows that's like a mix with
that's
the
GoodBad.
That's mixed
I don't
with the
care what anyone
Italian
says.
job.
I
It's
like
like
that.
it's like Day After Tomorrow mixed with the
Is that Jake
Italian
Gyllenhaal
job.
too? Yeah, fuck it. It was great.
And so I was hyped for it. And
People
then
froze in 3 seconds.
there was
Jake Jill.
there was practically
Jake
I don't even think there was more than 10 seconds of disaster happening
There was-
on camera.
There was one guy. Was he in a Beetle or he was in a little small car and he drove through a city.
Maybe it was a Jeep Renegade. I don't know.
Something real quick and that was it.
Oh yeah,
Everything was,
that was the whole scene, and then the rest was Gerald Butler in a fucking hot air balloon fighting with somebody in space.
oh my god!
It was
They tried to add the political thriller type
terrible.
thing.
It just wasn't.
It was so boring.
It wasn't fun.
And there was nothing at stake.
And that's the thing. There's a difference between good, bad, and then just bad. Like it was boring.
There's a big difference between knowing what you have and being like, yeah, we're gonna run with this, and we know exactly what this is.
You had one job, and that was to show buildings falling apart due to every storm imaginable.
Didn't even need acting. Just needed to have disaster happening. Just like San Andreas. Like, yeah, you had The Rock in it. That's fine. Dwayne Johnson. But didn't need him. They had enough visual effects of just shit being destroyed.
What do you think the thing is... With movies when we were younger, is it only because we were younger, or was it during that time period that movies, I guess if you call disaster movies or sci-fi movies, anything like that, back in the day, I feel like we're so much better, like Volcano and Dante's Peak.
Dante's Peak was my jam.
And even if you want to call them monster flick, things like Anaconda, A Deep Blue Sea, was it just because we were younger when we watched them why they were so fun? I'm sure if we watch them now,
no, they're still fun.
And why is it that they're so awful today?
Because people are they're trying to take themselves too serious.
They're great.
Is that, yeah.
I mean, last year I just watched Anaconda 4 or 5. I don't even know which one it was. And David Hasselhoff in it. I had a great time. I mean, by no means was it winning Oscars.
Well, yeah.
But we're not. It was a sci-fi special.
Yeah, we're not trying to say that.
I had a blast watching it. It was fantastic.
But those were my when I was a kid. Those were my favorite types of movies.
These bad movies need to be bad enough that I get a good laugh out of it.
Yes.
But when you're bored and it's bad,
yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's hard to watch.
You did something wrong if you're bored and it's bad.
The same thing happens in games. I was just talking about this on Twitch today, and I was saying that with Ubisoft, Ubisoft took me out with Assassin's Creed. Started out as a really good game, right? And then all of a sudden their game started getting each game that they put out kept getting super buggy, super laggy, super glitchy. But the problem with Assassin's Creed is this Assassin's Creed, as the story goes, takes itself too serious. And then all of a sudden, I played Far Cry 5, and it's just this over-the-top America thing. And then when the glitches happen in that game, because it doesn't take itself too serious, it didn't take me out of the game. It actually added to the hilarious things that happened that are already happening. So it's even though it was flawed, it was still a really good game. But if you take Assassin's Creed with the same type of bugs, it's not a good game.
Yeah, I mean, the sweet spot for me is somewhere kind of past where you're at, where it's a movie can be terrible and bad, but they know exactly what they have and they just run with it. I don't even care if it's terrible after that point, but if they just grasp that and they're just this is what we've got, and it's ridiculous and it's crazy and it's fun, and they just run with it.
I guess it's then, when you put out the effort, but you know what you're doing. But it's sci-fi is they're making it to be bad.
You know what?
It's almost
it's too purposeful.
It's like meta. It's we know that we're a B horror movie. That's when it's not good
it's
anymore.
It's like when newspapers or something post memes or something.
Yeah.
And you're just stop.
You know what we haven't had a chance to talk about? Clown Town.
Oh, Clown Town was awful as well. That was too. I forgot. You didn't. Did you watch that?
I did not have
that. You have the pleasure of watching that.
No.
And again, it was like Jeepers Creepers 3. What are they thinking? It was just... You have one job. You have one job to make a ridiculous horror movie. It doesn't even have to be a horror movie. Just make it fun. But yet again, Jeepers Creepers ruined it. Clown Town, you have clowns on the loose you could do anything with, and they ruined it. It made it the most boring movie one of the most boring movies I've ever seen.
And that's a problem. Like, I also feel like there's a try-hardy problem. I don't know, I think you might have seen it, I don't know about it because we never talked about it, obviously, because it's not a movie you would ever talk about. But a Zombiever?
Oh, I did see Zombievers.
I did not like it, because I felt like they were so try-hardy to be like, we know this is stupid, and it's a B-horror movie. Like, it just wasn't... It didn't connect with me. I'm like, I don't like. It's like when a movie does.
It's weird because it's almost the best. No, it's almost the best B horror movies is movies that don't realize they're a B horror movie before the fact. Mm-hmm. It's because
but at the same time, they're not taking themselves too seriously, and they're
making
doing what they want.
It's more or less people who are making a movie for fun who don't think they're a B horror movie. It's like they're making it just happens to be a B horror movie. There's so many of these films now today. I feel like that are just like, yeah, we're gonna make a B horror film movie. It's literally, and it shouldn't be.
We want to make another Troll 2.
It shouldn't be an aspiration to be a B horror movie. You should just kind of fall into that. You should be shooting for the A and then just like be like, yeah, this isn't happening, and then just land in the B. It shouldn't be like
it's like what happened to the
B's
Room.
Our goal.
Like the room, they took it super serious, and it became a cult classic. Yep. Hilarious.
That's
they
really
shot it for an A movie, and there was like, this is like when they were shooting it, they were like, this is fantastic.
Yes,
they were like, this is gonna be great, and then it came out, and there was like, oh shit! There was like
plus movie.
We fucked up.
Good lord!
Yeah. Some fucking bad movies we've seen. We've seen some terrible movies.
Yeah,
that's fun though.
You go for it.
I go for it.
We actively search for. Did you guys ever see Rubber?
Yeah.
What?
Rubber?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rubber.
That was actually I saw that on my list.
It was pretty fun.
I didn't like it.
It was
because
so
it was that same thing to me. Like
it was that thing.
I just looked on that. Oh, because I had my IMDb up. I had that as a 3. It was the same thing. Like I saw what they were doing, but it was It was try hardy to be so B that
at the point where
I gave it like a 3 out of 10. Like
at the point where you're like, we're gonna have an actual audience in the movie sitting on stands watching. Like it's cute. Cute's like cute's a good word. It's cutesy, but like the actual substance of the actual story was just fell flat, and it's just like. Yeah.
It's like a flat tire?
Yeah. I like the idea you have, but at the end of the day, it's just, that's what you get. It's a tire exploding people with telepathy or whatever the fuck you call it. I don't know.
Who knows?
Like, it's just,
it's in and out of my mind.
You can only get so far with that, and it's just like, it's like having a stapler go down the road and just killing people. It's just like...
Rob Schneider as your stapler.
You can get so far, but... Again, it's like, it just fell flat like a flat tire. It's just like it kind of like you started and you're just like, okay, this is interesting. And as the story went on, you're just like, the whole story is just a tire killing people. And you're just like, this is boring. It's just, that's what it is.
Do you remember what your favorite movies were that you stated in our intro video? And if you could talk a little bit more about them and why, and if we've seen them, we can... add on to that.
Inglourious Bastards was one.
Yeah.
I actually rated it, so good because of its historical accuracy.
Yeah.
No, I just think Brad Pitt was fantastic in the movie.
Are you
I want my Nazi scalps.
Are you a general big fan of Quentin Tarantino or?
I do love Tarantino. Almost all of his movies. I love his style. It's really fantastic, and who was the Nazi guy in the beginning? In the very beginning,
Christopher Waltz.
Christopher Waltz. He was fantastic in it.
Oh yeah,
he's fantastic in that film.
I haven't seen him in too many other things.
I forget what else I've seen him in.
I mean,
I've seen him.
He was
I
in
forget.
the other Tarantino movie,
yes, but I forget what else I've seen.
Django Unchained, and then I mean, he was
Django's so good
he
too.
was in that James Bond movie, was a Spectre.
Spectre, he was in.
Which I mean, and that's why you kind of see him end up playing the same kind of thing, but I still really enjoy that.
You know what
so
movie?
It's not old to me.
I don't know if either of you guys have seen, but is a very good movie, and he is in, is called Big Eyes. It's actually based off of an artist who does the Big Eyes, which I didn't know was even a thing before the movie, was Big Eyes artist who she draws these characters, and they have these really big eyes. And so what it was the whole movie, it's this great, just like, he doesn't play anything spectacular. He plays almost just his bad guy husband kind of character, and it's just like a conspiracy kind of thing.
That's something like that.
Yeah, it's just like a conspiracy kind of thing where it starts off where she does the art, and it's like one party or something happens, I forget, and he presents it and he says, "Oh yeah, this is my work," and it's at a time period where it's so much more acceptable for it to be a man, and she gets so much exposure through him. And so originally it starts off with no like spoilers involved with it, but it starts off with her being open to him being like, yes, this is my artwork, to get her artwork exposure. And from there you kind of just know it kind of takes a nasty turn going down the rabbit hole kind of thing. And by the end you have this dynamic thing of her being disgruntled about him taking credit for her work, him taking credit for her work and feeling like, I'm helping you spread your work. And so it's kind of like, you can see where it could kind of go based off of, but he was fantastic in that, and I've loved him in everything he's been in. Yeah. So it's just been, you know.
My second favorite movie from my from the introduction was
The Wicker Man.
Oh, it was
John Wick.
Yes, starring Keanu Cage.
Had to do it again from our 90 takes.
John Wick.
John Wick.
John Wick. I loved it.
Just fantastic.
It's great.
The gunplay was so great. It looked. It felt.
I still haven't
gung
seen
fu?
either.
The gung fu.
You haven't seen either?
I know.
What's wrong with you? It's been out for a
lots
long
of time.
time.
The gunplay was. The second one's been out for a long time.
Oh yeah, the second one's been out for a long time. So you're late on the first one.
Yeah, I know. I was. Side note.
What was so cool about it was the story.
Oh, you haven't even watched Sicario. What's wrong?
Yeah, you're in trouble.
Do you hear this, guys?
Sorry, I know.
No John Wick, no Sicario. Just tell him get out.
I'm a big piece
What's
of.
he even
I'm a
here
big
for?
piece of poopy crap.
He's below mediocre.
We're doing movie reviews with a guy that doesn't watch movies.
Oh, God damn. God damn.
But John Wick, I feel like the story was simple enough to not be too crazy.
What do you want?
I don't know, whatever.
You don't want anything? Right?
Oberyn or a nimble giant?
Okay. What?
Oberyn or a nimble giant? One or the other.
Yeah, we're drinking. We're having a good time.
This is gonna be cut.
I know.
So it's fine.
Yeah.
We can say whatever we want. It's gonna be cut.
Suck a dick, bitch.
Cut. Cora, why are you barking at
Kevin's
people?
gonna take about 3 weeks to cut this audio footage in
Oh,
half.
fuck you. You do it then.
I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I'm doing the Twitch.
This audio doesn't really need to be cut that much.
I know.
That's the great thing about podcasts, is they don't fucking need to be cut or fucking synced up to audio, to video or whatever.
Let me go get my juice because I ran.
Oh, God.
Fuck off, you fucking twat.
You're a twat. It's great. It's so much better than...
Let's just skip the YouTube then.
Okay.
Fuck me.
Where are you going?
To my car.
Why?
I forgot it.
Don't let Cora out front. She'll kill somebody.
Thank you for listening to the Mediocritics. Our team is currently taking a break. Your viewership is important to us. Please hold, and we will be back with you shortly.
He's holding the load by himself. Oh, that's fucking disgusting. You guys are gross.
I just taxed
You guys are making sex.
Nice. that is not how you make sex. Because I just speared her onto the bed
That's how I
like
make
fucking
sex.
Goldberg.
Fucking Goldberg, baby.
I mean, took enough balls anyway. Then I will
Take a piss.
be back
Take a pee.
in 3 minutes.
A pee-pee with your wiener.
Yeah. What it?
He's juicing, bro.
Dude.
Can I try it?
It's pretty trash.
Trash? You like it?
No, you're gonna cough like a motherfucker.
What?
Oh yeah, I forgot. Here you go.
You're killing me.
Try that.
Why are you trying to kill me?
Just try that one. I turned it down.
I'm not used to inhaling things. I'm okay with like the cigars bring into my mouth, but
I inhale cocks, so naturally I have a good pool with the smackers.
I'm okay.
What happened to the rest of it?
Oh, I don't know.
It's gone in there.
It's gone. I pulled that for quite a while, but yeah, it's gone.
I don't even.
It's just absorbed in my lungs. Oh yeah, I have popcorn lungs now. That's how it happens, you know.
I wanna from your head to your toe, and I wanna
That made me
move
lightheaded.
down to
I
the
think it's
flow,
coughing.
and I wanna make it so good. I don't wanna leave, but I
Yeah,
gotta.
that's weird. I coughed and it tastes like blueberries.
Where's my bitch at, yo? She ain't even texting me back. I'm about to put something on real quick.
Going some Juice World. Don't Drake's new album. It's trash.
Is it?
Yeah.
Did you listen to it?
Yeah.
You lie.
I listened to it all today.
Did you?
Yeah. It's okay. I've been listening to Juice World though.
I haven't listened to it yet.
Juice World.
Yeah, I love that
Oh, I
song.
took a big hit of his vape and I died. I'm still coughing.
Oh God!
Yeah, I just did a full
What flavor is that?
blueberry nutter butter. Blueberry nut. I don't know, not nutter
But
butter.
mostly not.
Yeah.
You want to try it?
Yeah, it's too much. Too much. I don't know. Yeah, what were we talking about?
My second favorite movie.
Is that what we're on?
No, you're on.
You were on John Wick. Third.
Yeah, but we stopped for breaks.
Oh.
Dirty
Oh, we
nails
never-
off my yard work.
No, we never finished it. We were talking about.
I didn't know if you guys continued.
So
when
no, we
I
didn't.
went down the page.
No.
So my second favorite movie is John the Wicker Man.
We've been there. We've been on it.
Yes.
Keanu Cage.
You haven't watched it.
Keanu Cage.
And I didn't see it
That or
I'm a-
Sicario, and he shouldn't be here.
because I'm a piece
And
of
what
crap.
else? What I liked about John Wick
The gun fu
was the gun.
was awesome.
The gung fu. I liked how authentic it felt, and the story was simple enough that it didn't seem too elaborate. But
you know what's so stupid?
it was believable. Like they established a universe and they made it believable within that universe. And
But you
that's
know what's
what I
so
liked
stupid
about
is
it.
they had the premise of the film, which is stupid at the same time as genius, where anybody could come in and like whatever movie, like Deadpool 2 or whatever, and it's like, oh, they killed his wife, and you're just like, I don't give a fuck. But like they were like, you know what a soft spot for people is? There's like fucking puppies, and there's like, we're gonna fucking kill his puppy, but not even kill his puppy. We're gonna kill his puppy. That was a gift
from
his
his wife.
dead wife, and you're just like,
And then steal his
fucking
car.
blow your fucking mind. Yeah, in car, and you're just like, you just fucking destroyed a man. You fucking took a man and you fucking tore him from the top of the world to shambles.
Like not even the top of the world because he was pretty broken down, but it was
He's
the
pretty
last.
broken
It was the
down, but
last
to
piece
shambles.
from his
to
wife.
shambles.
And yeah, it broke him down. It was really authentic. I
And
liked
just
it.
almost the thing where it's like, even if you weren't an assassin, you could see yourself killing just as many people if somebody did that to yourself.
Is that what he was?
Yeah.
He's like, he's one of those.
He's an excess. It's a world of assassins.
It was
and
pretty. Yeah, it was a world of assassins, but again, it's like spoiler, but it was pretty much just like they killed his dog, and it was literally just a revenge where it's like it set him off. It's not even about the dog at that point.
But like
it's just like it's like the principal, and he's like, I don't even care, but I'm gonna kill fucking everybody that had to do with killing my dog.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the X factor about the movie that was genius about the writing. It wasn't what they told you; it's what they didn't tell you. From the beginning, you don't know anything about Keanu Reeves' character. You don't know anything about John Wick. You just know that he was in some sort of secret society and that his wife died. They killed his dog. They stole his car. And then the first thing that happens is, the kid takes the car and tells his dad, who's like a mob boss or some sort of high guy, and he's just like, "You're a fucking idiot."
The fucking scene. So he tells the dad, "Stole this car," and he's like, "Who'd you steal it from?" And there's like, "Stole from some guy." It's like John Wick,
idiot.
And he's like, "You fucking stole a car from the fucking boogeyman."
And then he was like the Boboyega, and he's like, "What's that mean, the boogeyman?" And he's like, "No, it's the guy you hire to kill the boogeyman." And like from that moment, it was like. The way they put it was they didn't tell you anything about John Wick, but in that world, he was renowned as everybody was like, you don't fuck with this guy, but they wouldn't tell you why.
That was all you needed. That scene where like this old guy, do you even know what the guy was from? I forget. He was in other movies. I forget.
Yeah, I don't remember.
But he's this just old guy. He's like, he literally looks like Dos Equis guy. And so Theon Greyjoy, I don't fucking know his name either, but he's the fucking like kid. And he comes to me, he's like, "Dad, like, hey, I stole this fucking car," and it's like, it's great. And the dad's literally like, that scene where the dad was like, clearly the dad's been in the mob and has known shit.
Yeah, he's
and
high
it's
up.
like he's old, like he's like considered like Godfather level, like old, like a hierarchy of the whatever family.
He even calls John Wick personally, and he's like, wants to apologize, and John doesn't even say anything. He just hangs up, and then he looks at his son, and he just goes,
he's like,
and slaps him on the face, and he's just like, he's just like, I love you,
pretty much.
But
like,
he literally,
you.
He literally tells him, he's like, John will come for you.
Yeah.
And then he's like, I have protection. I can handle myself. And he look at his face. He's like, no, you can't. Yeah. And like, he's gonna come for you. He's gonna kill you.
It's like the worry for his son after he finds out he stole and killed. Like, because he tells him, he's like, "Oh, you stole his car." And he's like, "Yeah, I killed his dog too." He was bragging about it, and then the dad's just like, "Oh, you fucked up so bad." He's like, and it's literally like that good scene. He's like, "I'm so sorry. You're going to die."
Yeah.
Was the scene, and you're just like, holy shit, like, without even talking about John Wick's past or what he does or what he's been, like, who he is, you immediately have a picture of who he is. Like,
so
because they put in your head the worst things you can imagine. Is like, that's how they set him up, is they leave it to your imagination, which is great, to be like, this is who John Wick is. It's the boogeyman to you. For you, John Wick's a different character. For me, it's a different character. For you, it's a different character. But for all of us, it's a terrifying character.
Yeah, and they did it without telling you that much about him. And that's what really, like, it drove the intrigue in right away. Like, within the first 15 minutes, they didn't tell you that much, but you were still fully immersed, and you felt like you knew what was going on, and that was what was really great about John Wick 2. And John Wick 2 was just as good.
Is there going to be a third?
Yes, that's already been confirmed, and John Wick, that there's already been.
Is there going to be a third? I didn't know that.
Yeah, John Wick Chapter 3, and I'm pretty sure it's the end.
Well, then I got time.
It's the end, though.
I don't know how I feel about that.
Well, no, I mean it's the end because now he's not in attack mode; he's in survival mode. Because
so we got a Jason Bourne situation here.
Correct.
Jesus Christ.
Because I don't know if you care about spoilers so much. But
I mean, spoiler.
I do.
I mean, spoiler, but it's not really. At the end of the movie, clearly he's still alive because there's a third movie.
Okay. Yeah.
Pretty much everybody's against him. That's pretty much, it's not really much of a spoiler. And like I said, it's pretty much like Jason Bourne, like you said, and how you could predict.
He's a tired man.
It's like everybody's trying to kill him.
He does the one thing that you can't do, and it causes everyone to go after him.
It just leaves just like Jason Bourne, where other assassins are trying to kill him.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, it really doesn't change much from the beginning of Jason Bourne to the end of Jason Bourne, because it's like, Original John Wick, it's like people are trying to kill him. And it's like second John Wick, it's like more people are being hired to kill him. Third John Wick, it's just like, it's gonna just be everybody trying to kill him.
Well, no, they weren't trying to kill him in John Wick 1. They just wanted to steal his car. He goes after them.
No, but he still hired other assassins to try and kill him in John Wick 1.
Yeah, but the main story was that he was going after those kids. Then in John Wick 2, it was completely different because he was forced to do certain things.
Correct. I just mean in John Wick 1, the guy hires other assassins to try and kill him.
Oh, yeah. And
John Wick 2, there's still, again, more hired assassins tried to kill him. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I mean, it's just kind of progressive where by the third one, it's just like everybody's trying to kill him. It's just an order. It's just kind of like, again, it's just like, it's almost just like Jason Bourne. It's more of like, Jason Bourne, it's less of this is a cult kind of group thing.
Yeah.
It's like Jason Bourne, it's more of this is a governmental thing.
Yeah.
John Wick,
they established that literally anybody you see could be an assassin.
John Wick, it's more of like this is a cult kind of like people are assassins that you don't know, and it feels culty, like because it's more that thing where it's like anybody you see could be an assassin. It's like Jason Bourne didn't feel like that. Like when he was on the street, like you saw somebody and you're just like that person's an assassin.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ, it's Jason Bourne.
That Italian guy, he's an assassin, but the other people on the street, they're just bystanders. John Wick at the end, you're just like. Yeah, everybody could be an assassin because, you know, you got
and they set it up pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty cool. Even he gets surprised sometimes where like he doesn't know, he's like on edge. And it gives you that on edge, like when he's in a crowded place, like you're like there could be 100 assassins that you have no idea. But the thing that I liked about like why John Wick 1 was so high up there for me was literally because of how authentic the gunplay felt. And it's literally because Keanu trained with Navy SEALs to.
Oh yeah! Did you ever see him
montage video?
Did you ever see him doing like pistol competitions?
Yeah, like he's legit.
He's fucking ridiculous.
Like so the stunts that he's doing, like even though
the gun fu, even though is legit,
it's him doing it, and it's pretty awesome.
Like he's trained to do it.
So like it feels real. Like he's really reloading.
Get the third. Let's go.
Oh yeah.
We've been on John Wick for way too long.
No, that's.
Bang, 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 bang. What did you say was your third?
Empire.
So we also have to limit. I don't even know if we need to
even talk about this.
We really don't,
because I feel like every conversation about this movie has happened and has been done and beaten to the ground. But say what you'd like to say about it, and then we can maybe comment for a bit and then move on.
Simply, I liked it out of the best out of the trilogy because it was the darkest of all of them. It had the best lightsaber battle of all three of the originals. I loved the fact that Vader was Vader. Like it was one. Like if you really want to look at it, a lot of the Star Wars movies, like Vader wasn't really badass in the prequels. Vader really wasn't badass in any of the other movies except for Empire. The second best Vader scene ever was in Rogue One. It was like half a second. Mm-hmm. So. I mean, I really liked it for that. You know, I mean, this has been beaten to a fucking bloody pulp.
Yeah.
But no, that's why I loved it. I love Star Wars. Easily, that's my favorite one. A New Hope took a little bit to get going, and the third was the third, and I just was like,
yeah. I mean, reasonably so. Then, it's up there for a reason. I mean, it's. Like I said, it's in its place, and because of everything you said, it was the best, honestly, probably out of the movies. It had the most weight to it, and probably.
Yeah, I thought there was. It really fleshed out a lot of the characters. It was the movie that let you fall in love with all of these characters, and that everybody fall in love with these characters.
You fall in love with Star Wars. Yeah,
that's a good statement. I like that.
And that was it for me, and that's what started it. But what were your favorite movies, Andy?
Oh, we're going right to me.
He skipped me.
Wow. So we're going. Yeah, I guess there's no video to go. Right from left. Right.
No, right to you.
Putting you on the spot.
So I had said Adventures of Tintin.
I don't know shit about Tintin.
So
it's a great anime film.
I like animated movies a lot. I've always liked animated movies. I draw myself, not well. Not trying to portray that.
I'm surprised you're not more into anime.
It is.
It's surprising because for somebody who likes animation so much, it's almost like you're missing out on the best of the best kind of stuff. Like
I appreciate it so much, and I even appreciate the anime because that's one of the things that I look for a lot in animation is I look at the skill and the talent of it. So yes, it is odd. I have not been exposed a lot to it, and
I'll
I
give
haven't.
you some recommendations.
Yeah, and I haven't taken
me either. I don't really watch anime either, but never really got into it. But I will say I did watch. We'll get right back to you.
Yeah,
I watched Batman Ninja the other day.
Oh, you finally did?
I did, and it was fucking awesome. Yeah. It was super cool. It got a little wild, but in typical like what I would think would be anime fashion. Mm-hmm. Like if you've ever seen any like Dragon Ball Z where the action just gets.
I don't know if that's anime fashion though.
Well, you know what I'm saying, but I'm saying the action gets ridiculous, and it's like that's kind of how it gets. But it was super cool. It was super original. I loved Batman Ninja, but like that movie made me want to get more into anime, and I don't know anything about Tintin, so explain to me a little bit what it's about.
Well, I was just gonna say, even towards anime, like I know, like one of my favorite video games, and you can't consider it anime, but like I feel like it's in the fashion, is Metal Gear, and like I feel like Kojima, like it's very
stuff from that,
and the story is very anime. It's incredibly deep. It's incredibly convoluted, and it goes on and on and on. But like that's what gets you invested, especially if it's so long and deep. And that's one of my favorite video game series. And you know, I've dipped here and there into different anime series, but like. It's just one of those things, like especially with shows, is a lot of anime series. It's you know like what 20 plus fucking episodes per season, and not all of them.
No, a lot of. I'd say the most likely is 13, 12, 13, 12 with like a 13 OVA kind of like plus episode.
Yeah.
I mean, it's very rare, honestly, nowadays that you find any animes that have more than.
Well, like your big ones, your like but I mean, Full Metal, right? Like, isn't there like 24 episodes per season?
I don't even know how many there are per episode, but like,
there's an obnoxious amount.
Not for
according
Full
Metal. That's
necessarily for Full Metal. Things like if you want to go for like Bleach or Naruto, there's a lot of those. Like it's a lot because they're pumping out like an episode per week.
Yeah,
and it shows that, and they're okay.
Probably more than that. My brother spent a ton of time watching Naruto.
Yeah, it depends. They're so behind. They were so behind on the manga that it's just like they were spending catch up for so long. But
like 2 episodes every other day.
Yeah, and a lot of their stuff they were putting out was this filler too, where it was like they were just trying to catch up and putting out filler episodes. But no, I mean 12 to 13 episodes is generally normal for a regular anime series. So it is. I mean, and granted, each of those is probably without, like, you're not watching, we're watching them not on TV without commercials. So they're probably like 23, 24 minutes.
And like I said, it's not even an anime thing, but I have trouble committing to long series or times like that to finish something when I can watch a movie that's done in 2 hours instead of watching multiple for a whole series to get the entire story. But I'm
some good recommendations.
I'm a big fan of animated movies, animation. I've always liked drawing myself. I grew up with cartoons. I love them. I'm a 90s kid at heart. I love all those and movies. They could go on and on. Like one of my favorite literally is Brave Little Toaster. I goddamn love that movie. Great Mouse Detective. Going to Disney side, I love the Goofy movie. Going to Warner Brothers, I love even. I was a really big fan of Tiny Toons. So the Tiny Toons our last summer or summer vacation, something like that. Like I love all of those sorts of things. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say, you know, a movie
Cut in.
pulls at my strings. That's like the animated movie. That's just like it's my childhood. It pulls at my like childhood strings. Is Fox and the Hound.
Oh, Fox and the Hound is fantastic.
It is just like it's that movie where it's like I don't even care about anything wrong with that movie. It's just like as soon as you mention that movie, like I get sad, I get emotional, and I'm just like, oh no, don't leave Cooper. I'm like, don't. I'm just like,
and it's like Pixar movie. I love. I think the Toy Story trilogy. Well, oh God, why are they making a fourth? It makes me mad.
Are they making a fourth?
Yeah,
they are.
I know
That's happening.
Confirmed.
Yeah. Like I actually think Toy Story 3 was like a great movie and not a great animated movie. I actually think it was just a legit good movie. I just think it was perfect. But so as I went through all those, and of course, again, if you watch the intro video. Pretty much just what I went on was the last movie that I rated 10 out of 10 on IMDb. So what that ended up being was actually a... Sorry, yeah, cut in.
No, I was going to say, do you like any of the DC animated stuff? Because they're really good with the animated stuff.
I wanted to... I read a lot about, like, what you mean, like, Killing Joke, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, because they are really high.
I watched a lot of clips and watched...
I was just curious because of all the things, like say what you want about the DCEU, their animated stuff is pretty fantastic.
That's the only thing they're doing right.
But anyway, what were your 10 out of 10s?
Yeah. So Tintin, and what I ended up doing, it's slightly animated, but it's technically in more of the motion capture category. Peter Jackson and Steven Spielberg took it up, and they made an incredible motion capture. Movie which is just so reminiscent of number one, the Uncharted game series and Indiana Jones, and what you can say is screw both of those because the actual comics that the artist actually drew. So like all of these kind of actions or situations that he went through were in those comics prior, and I believe they took two of those books and kind of mixed them into one for a longer movie. And it was just something that was so simple but so fun. Like it didn't need anything more than it was. They had threw in things there that were way harder than kids need it. There was alcoholism, there was we're drinking, and there was gunfights, there was blood, like it was harsh.
I would go back. I would say not even just alcoholism, but just alcoholism and not people being judgmental of you. Because even the scene where Haddock was watching after the scroll and things like that, and Tintin accuses him of losing the scroll when it was totally out of his hands. He assumes, he assumes
that's the artist's name, Hergé.
He assumes it's his alcoholism, but it's one of those things where it's really a lot more about society being like where people with mental illnesses or addictions, we kind of just put the blame on them, and it's not that deep, but I mean at the end of the day, it's like where he was like, oh, I lost the scroll, and he's like, "Oh, you've done it again. You've been drinking." When he
like,
really didn't.
It was something that spilled.
It was something, It was something spilled on him. He was like, "I can smell the alcohol in you."
It's not that deep, but it still has those tones.
It does.
And to be honest, the only reason I went to see this movie is because I am a fan of long takes. I love long shots in movies, and
Fantastic.
I heard this movie had one. Spielberg, Jackson, they were gonna do it. An animated or motion capture one, and it's probably at the end it's probably literally only a minute 30. I don't know, I could be wrong.
It's pretty long.
It is incredible, and it's orchestrated so lovely, and I get goosebumps. I'm just a nerd with that. I'm like, ooh, this is fun, and it's just how the camera weaves in and out of the things that are happening, and because it's motion capture and technically animated, they can do whatever with it. But it's an incredible chase scene, and I think that should be up there on the top chase scenes in movies. Screw it that it's animated.
It should be.
It's so good. It's so fun.
The way
I want you to watch it.
The way that they, because I've seen it, because you've made me watch it, and I've watched it a couple times now. The way that they do this long cutscene is almost like a Rube Goldberg kind of like mechanism happening, where it's like you see it's like they go and they
like when it's starting, and you're
characters.
Like, I'm in this now.
They follow characters, and they're just like, we're following a dog now. Now it's like the scroll gets transferred. And other movies that would do a cut, they're just like, no, we're straight following this hawk straight through the air to a scooter with an RPG or just random shit that you're just like, kind of just, it keeps going, and you're just, it keeps going and keeps giving. But yeah, it's a great scene.
It's super fun, and that's why if you're looking for super fun, it's not terribly deep. You're not going to get it from that. There's some things here and there that could be, but I look at it as just actually just a really good, just a great time. Just sit down, you watch something, and there's one scene in there. Oh, I mean, the whole animation it's actually just really surprising and beautiful. But the one chase scene, it's a load of fun.
What was your second 10 out of 10?
Frost Nixon was the second one. It's incredibly random here, and I probably can't talk too long about it.
Another one I haven't seen.
It's great.
But we watched it on a plane. I made you watch that.
We did. I don't know. I don't remember where we were
going, but we watched that on a plane.
I feel like we were headed somewhere like Mississippi or Ohio. I'm not sure.
Some terrible. But I really enjoy history and movies that portray that. I believe it was a Ron Howard film, but I believe it also was a play beforehand, but it just goes through the interviews of Frost when he was talking to Nixon about the Watergate scandal, or trying to get through to that. So, obviously, that sounds incredibly boring. Oh, it's just terrible history.
So great.
But the interactions between them and the actual
the acting in that is so good.
You're trying to set that up.
They set the mood perfectly.
Number one, trying to set this up, and the stakes that were involved for both of them. For Frost too, who I guess came from bigger television, and now he was trying to do something more serious and trying to get really big answers. It was really interesting. One of the historical films that was really more interesting. I hear there are some inaccurate things in there, and that's that comes with a lot of these types of films. But I thought it was incredibly interesting. But the last one was 12 Angry Men.
12 Angry
Men.
This guy is not shut up about 12 Angry Men.
There it is.
I actually also didn't see that, and I refuse to see it because that's all he talks about.
You will see it, and then
I don't want to because
you don't want to love it. You don't want to love it as much as me.
I'm spiting him.
Don't worry, it's worth seeing, but you won't love it as much as him.
I'm doing it in spite of Andy. I don't want to see it because of that.
You will love it. 1957 by
I'll just jump in. I cannot get behind the old movies. I get that they were I get that they were ahead of their time at the time, but it's so hard to grasp what they were accomplishing at the time when those things weren't happening. It's hard. It's hard today.
It's hard to appreciate the advancements that they had because we've advanced past that.
Appreciate's a good word, because it's like today. It's like you look at our modern films and we have so many things. It's hard to think of a time when what was being done was the first of it being done.
Well, when have you seen that done again? That's the thing.
If you gave me time, I could name you movies.
So the point is, Henry Fonda plays one of the 12 jurors in a case where literally everyone believes that the guy is pretty much guilty, that he murdered.
More specifically, what would you say? Like more, if you wanted to ask me that question, what more specifically would you ask me? Like, what have I or haven't I seen in movies?
So number one. Well, that's not fair because I'll put number one.
I just mean not as a whole, what aspects.
I don't know the exact minutes of this movie.
It doesn't have to be a minute. I just mean like aspect of it.
No, so I'm just gonna go through this.
So I'm not trying to be cheap.
So you can cue in here. I'm just gonna say 95% of this movie is done within the jury room. So there's I don't know the exact minutes, so there's only a few in the beginning and at the end where you see anybody outside of it. Actually, there might be a little bit in the middle where I believe they go to the bathroom. But so it's a very confined movie. So yeah, there's a bunch of confined movies.
One newer movie, I'll just say, is The Room, not the bad room, but the newer room. It was
very confined.
So, things like that. Things like, I've heard The Fleur Project is pretty confined and things like that. I don't know. I haven't seen that. But, so, there's movies where they're confined. But, like I said, I'm just going to kind of... I'm not going to do it to, like, defame your take on it, but I'm going to try and do it, like, to take what you say and think of movies
which also, I believe, was
that
also...
do so.
I believe it also a play. So,
yeah.
Because obviously it holds 12 individuals in one room at one time, and they go through everything. There's 3.
Panic Room? Am I right? That was in one room the whole movie.
Must be in your top 4.
What was the M. Night Shyamalan movie where they're in an elevator the whole movie?
I think it was 5.
What was that movie?
A Devil.
Oh, Devil.
You
knew it by name. Oh, you knew it, but you... Oh, he says he didn't watch it, but he was like, Devil, I know that movie.
I know.
He didn't even have to think about it.
I saw it a lot on Netflix.
I watched that whole movie.
My thumb trembled.
Oh my god.
Just sweating.
That movie was on HBO so often.
I was trembling over the X button on my PlayStation controller.
I watched that movie so many times, it's not even funny that I don't remember the name of it, but keep going now.
But yeah, so everyone believes that this individual is guilty. So Henry Fonda is the only person who says we don't have, enough to convict him. So one by one, he starts to go around and starts to point out all of the pieces of evidence and starts to change everybody's mind because of that. And what is great about it is he himself is not saying that, yeah, this person is completely innocent. He's just pointing out that there is a shadow, there's
a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah,
oh my god,
there's a doubt in there.
That's why it's such a great movie. Oh, I thought I saw that on Murder in the Orient Express too.
Oh, that was a awful movie. Don't even. Don't.
You didn't see that at all.
Compare that movie.
No.
Now,
and you know what? There was no weird battle on fucking planks of wood.
You know what? If I could back you up.
Miserable.
I could back you up if you were like, oh. Like, you mean...
Same description.
No, stop. If you were like, oh...
You put devil in the conversation.
Stop. He did not. I did. That was me, because I love bad, good movies. If you were like, oh, you mean like To Kill a Mockingbird? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I'll match that with you. Yeah, it's a great movie, and kind of has the same feel as, I feel like 12 Angry Men, which the whole court trial and things like that. But, you just... stop. Go ahead.
Continue. So he goes through every single person.
The Oriental Express. Don't even.
And it's just it's incredibly acted and another big thing. So some of the things maybe that he brings up at that time might be slightly cheesy because obviously it's 1957 and they didn't have the technology that we did today, but cars. Oh my good lord. Read a book.
He's in the movie.
Read a book.
He hasn't seen
1957 though. They fucking cars at that point.
No, those things are sputtering along. I've seen it once, but those things that's Fords and they're not doing so hot. But
with your wooden
Did you know that the first AI car just killed somebody?
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah, but it had a
Was it a Tesla?
Well, let's not go too far into depth, but it had a person driver behind it who was watching The Voice while it ran somebody down.
Incredible.
Is that real?
Yeah. The car was going and the automatic brake was shut off for some reason, which I don't know when the fuck it was shut off. But it relies on a person being behind the wheel and turning it off or braking because, we don't trust AIs yet because they haven't overruled us yet.
Right, yeah, sure.
And they had 6 seconds. It's a long time. Like, 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. It's a long 6
That's
seconds.
a long time.
6 seconds is a long time to stop. And they were watching The Voice on their phone though, and they just fucking ran them down. And yeah, they're dead.
Great.
But anyway, continue. I don't even know where you were at, but
It's-
I had to stop to say that the AI car killed somebody.
I think he left off with they were going
it is-
around the room.
It's iRobot.
It's a. I think it still holds up today with the importance of what they're saying. There's a lot of prejudice, and there's a lot of just regular family issues, and you can see everyone that has those problems in it and how they may portray that onto somebody else. And I think it is an important film to watch. And
It's okay.
hopefully, if you watch it, that's fine. Hopefully, but did you enjoy it?
Yes.
And that's the most that you can ask it for. And I think, and it's one of my favorite movies. I've watched it. I watch it still today multiple times a year. Whenever, and literally, and it gets me hyped whenever I hear of a big case on TV. I literally will watch this even more, and it makes me actually really excited for jury duty, because I get this weird self thing where I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be Henry Fonda in 12 Angry Men, and I'm gonna be that guy, and I love that movie, and those are my movies.
You know, I just want it to be my turn. That's about why I'm agreeing with you, and that's about it.
Well, I mean, we had a lot of time in between anyway, so we're not terribly over.
But did you also know that I've never been to jury duty? 3 times I've been called, and
I'm going next month.
Nice.
Hopefully.
You know what?
Hopefully.
I'm excited. I would love to go. But all 3 times I've called the night before, and they're just like, no, don't need you. And I'm just like, I'm like, you're killing me.
I told you, I was in the box one time, right?
Oh, yeah, you told me.
I made it all the way into the box.
But I'm going to get started with my movies because these two don't know a thing about it. So, we're going to start with my anime series, and he's leaving. Can you believe it? He's leaving me without getting me a beer.
Thank you for listening to Mediocritics. Mediocritics. We are sorry for the delay. Our team will be with you as soon as they're free. Due to a high volume of drinks, our team is unavailable. Continue to hold, and you'll be connected back to the podcast as soon as possible.
And we're back. And we're back. And
I wake up at 6.
You woke up.
beautiful. It's still going. That's beautiful. It makes me happy.
I was there at 5. He's like,
Makes
I got
me
up.
happy.
I woke up, rolled out of bed at 6.
Oh,
my
stop.
God. Well, I was already there at 5.
Please.
I was up at like 4.
So,
What are your favorite movies?
we're back to me. My favorite movies are anime series and movies. My favorite anime movie that just came out was Your Name. It is a fantastic current day anime movie, which neither of these two are really big into anime, but we're going to change that, don't worry.
It's not.
It's going to change. And so if he likes Tintin and Dan likes anything that's just good looking and is a fantastic story, then he will love anime. Overall, it's just a good time. You really can't go too much wrong with it. If you decide that you're
Is it all hand drawn?
I'm sure tons of it is digital. But like I said, you're not going to get the same kind of gorgeous skies, gorgeous sceneries you're going to by hand drawn. I'm sure
a lot of Batman Ninja was hand drawn.
FYI. I would assume that most of it is not hand drawn. I would assume most of it's digital. I mean, I would assume that's mostly going with just a trend of things. I mean, I would think it's easier to draw by iPad or computer or tablet, and especially with this kind of genre. And I would encourage both of you to watch this movie. It's a good bridge between the current anime movies and kind of just anime movies, like, or animation kind of movies. Like, if you really enjoy Tintin, you should watch this. It's a gorgeous movie. If you really like gorgeous movies, this is it. Like, my favorite American animation film is WALL-E. It's a great film that has minimal words in it, is conveyed clearly and passionately, and you get the whole story without saying much. I mean, the whole story... Yeah, I mean, it's WALL-E and Eva. There's the two words that are said in it. It's very similar to Groot or whatever the fuck it is. It's just like, but the movie is so much deeper than that, and the animation style of it is so clear and crisp that it's just... it shines through. So it's like, Your Name is very similar, but the animation style, if believable, is so much more gorgeous than WALL-E and things like that. And it's probably the best animation I've ever seen. I'm hoping that Fireworks is better, but it's getting mediocre reviews, so I'm hoping I'll say about it. But
is it a director or is it a studio?
I'm not sure. I know it's by the same team as Your Name, but I'm not sure about exactly who's involved with everything. It's not the classic Studio Ghibli, which everybody's like, oh yeah, they're like the classic animes, like, you know, House Moving Castle, things like that. But it is like the new kind of genre of everything, and so I'm really into those, so I'm looking forward to that, and that is a fantastic movie. As far as animation goes, the next movies that are my favorite, which I would pick one out of them, but they're Sicario, Hell or High Water, and kind of Wind River. I'd pick Hell or High Water out of all of them as my favorite.
That was an Oscar nominee.
It was.
It made it.
Yeah, it's the grittiness of it that kind of draws me in, which you can kind of see the similarities of all the movies, including with all these No Country for Old Men, things like that. It's just like, it's these scenes that kind of have that slow burn kind of build that... You know, as like you take each one.
Can I just interject
go
again? In No Country for Old, did you see that?
Oh yeah, that's a magnificent.
One of that movie has one of the best film scenes ever in cinema. The coin flip scene.
Oh my god!
With Sugar. Sugar.
Fantastic.
It is so good.
That scene alone is worth the price of admission.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so leading on to that, I'd say there's so much more that those in-depth, those feelings of like those tension scenes. So Sicario, it's like when the people, they're at the border and they're waiting for people to approach the car, or Hell or High Water when they're at the bank when they're requesting money, and it's like that's the big heist, or Wind River when they're at the camp and they're saying like the one, I forget her name, but the lady who's behind, and she's like, why are you circling behind me? Kind of question.
Oh, that seems great.
And it leads you, and it gives that tension. And even Hell or High Water, like I said, or No Country for Old Men, the coin flip scene, or Hell or High Water, just leading up to that main robbery. It's just like those tension scenes that are those slow burn kind of tension scenes that give you so much to work off of, so much to like imagine and kind of just put yourself in their kind of shoes and be like, oh shit, like if this was happening, what would I do? Kind of just leaves me like, those are the movies I enjoy, regardless how they end or if they end appropriately or not. And so that's my middle, and then my final kind of movies that I would really enjoy are my GoodBad movies. So things that are terrible.
All the GoodBad, I think we're coming full circle here because I think we started.
We started with my worst movie.
Yeah, so now we're going around to say what is GoodBad.
Which are my GoodBad. So some of my GoodBad may or may not have made it into his list, which they have not. My GoodBads are things like The Purge. Purge is a perfect example of GoodBad.
Purge!
Other movies that are perfect of GoodBad is bad horror films like Friday the 13th as they go on and on.
Love them.
Just Friday, Jason X. Things stupid things.
Classic.
Stupid things. Belko Experiment. I wish it was better, but it was not. Just these kind of movies are my things. I wish Jeepers Creepers 3 was better. I wish some of these movies were better, but The Purge is a perfect example, and they're coming out with now, what, third or fourth?
It's a fourth one.
Fourth one they're coming out with, which God bless America. That they're coming out with on July 4th of July. They're coming out with. And
naturally,
they've just been. It's a fun, it's a fun concept. It is just a fun movie.
The sociological aspects that these movies could have brought to the forefront were incredible. If they did them, and then they said, no, we're not.
Because
we're gonna have fine ladies jumping out of cars with glittery AKs
because
shooting up in the sky.
They know what sells and they know what doesn't sell.
I know. I'm just saying.
The ideal movie of The Purge wouldn't have sold. So, realistically, going back to everything, what this branched off of was the original Battle Royale from Japan, which is a fantastic older film, but they've made it where it's something that's current day, the same way that they've made Death Race. Death Race with, Jason Statham?
Probably.
Was terrible, but they made it something that was enjoyable. They made it something that was stupid and fun and just ridiculous. They didn't make it a stupid Pixel, or they didn't make it just something like that where it's just just dumb, where they're trying to fit in media, or Emoji Movie, or just dumb shit like that where they're just like, we know what we have, but we're just gonna fucking make it terrible. They know what they have and they're gonna make it awful. Like, a movie that would benefit from doing this kind of thing is Transformers. Stop taking yourself so seriously. You have fucking transforming robots that turn into cars. Just fucking take it at that and go with that.
Well, they stopped, and now they're making spin-offs.
Bumblebee.
Oh yeah,
Bumblebee.
But it's a little bit too late kind of thing. Where it's like, The Purge, though, is a movie that makes money time after time. I mean, they started. The first Purge movie, I think, was made off of $3 million, and they've profited a ton of money. It's just like, you can see, you make a cheap movie that has a good concept, and that's a bad good movie to me, is perfect for me. I mean, it's just like, Belko Experiment fell flat, a lot of things fell flat. It's like, another good bad movie, The Saws. Saws are a great bad movie. I mean, they know exactly what they have. They have a horror film that's bad. Final Destination, great bad movie where they know exactly what they have. They have people dying.
Waiting for another.
That's about it. They have people that are dying in a sequential manner, and that's great for me. So,
what was your favorite good bad movie, Andy?
Oh God,
Purge.
Good Lord, The Strangers.
Yeah,
and I mean the first Strangers.
That's not good bad. That's
I know. I'm just thinking.
That's more mediocre.
I think that's very divisive.
Yeah,
I think people.
I can see that.
I think people hate it or they love it. I actually loved it. I think the first one it seems really real, and honestly, I think the movie was made by one line. Why are you doing this? Because you were home.
You're home.
And
that's
that is
the most the movie.
I think that is the most terrifying thing ever. Because
just that you were around.
It's real.
That you were home.
And this is why terrible things happen. There's really no reason. I think people who watch this movie needed a reason. There had to be something. Why? Why would terrible things happen? And honestly, there sometimes doesn't need to be one, and that is the scariest thing of all, to be honest. So that's why I actually really, really like that movie. Dan.
GoodBad movie. Something that I found was hilarious.
Get it?
Triple X, the return of Xander Cage.
Wow.
That's not even GoodBad. This is good. Don't even get into that. Don't even get into that.
And Crank.
No, Crank was just good.
Whoa.
That was not
It
bad.
was a bad movie.
That was not bad whatsoever.
I didn't think it was a
Don't
good
even
movie.
get started with that. It's just a great movie.
How about Crank 2?
Cult classic. Great.
Jesus.
A+ across the board.
Crank is what I wanted.
Across the board.
Well,
That's what you want to be. What
Hardcore Henry
to be.
I wanted
But
Hardcore Henry to
first
be Crank.
person of Crank.
And I went in theaters to see Hardcore Henry.
Mistake.
And it
Mistake.
wasn't that fun.
All right.
That's a thing that we did. That's a podcast. A little extra for your baby faces.
Yeah, remember, be
We did.
yourself.
And you know,
What's your thing? I said be yourself. What's your thing?
I don't have one.
He doesn't
Well,
have one. Be
good
yourself. He doesn't have one. And
You know-
Andy's is
stay mediocre.
stay mediocre, but be yourself.
But
Don't be above mediocre.
But mainly, try not to be yourself.
be mediocre.
You'll-
Don't exceed mediocre.
along the line, you'll stay.
Be borderline mediocre.
Yeah.
Don't go above, because then you're not mediocre. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Peace! I'm going to bed. I'm so tired. Fuck off.